humans still have the genes for a full coat of fur, scientists discover. This is by Tessa Kumandura, Science Alert. Fur is a defining feature of being a mammal, but bald is beautiful for several mammalian weirdos, including dolphins, mole rats, elephants, and of course humans, not to mention a handy adaptation. Yet all our ancestors had plenty of fur. According to a new study on relatively hairless mammals, we still have the means to be hirsute. Those genes and seams have simply been switched off. In their hunt through nearly 20,000 coding genes and 350,000 regulatory ones, comparing across 62 different mammal species, University of Pittsburgh geneticist Amanda Kowalski and her team found a mechanism behind these fascinatingly parallel changes. This reemergence of a trait across unrelated lineages is also known as convergent evolution. In the case of hairlessness, it evolved independently at least 9 different times along different branches of the mammalian family tree. The selection pressure for this lack of hair are just as varied as the species that have lost their fuzz. For elephants, it's a way to lose heat faster. For marine mammals, being sleeker means less resistance moving in the water. And for us, well, there are possibly multiple contributing pressures, including the morgulation, the reduction of parasites. Despite these differences, Kowalski and her colleagues found the genetic changes in furless species mostly arose from mutations in the same sets of genes. Many of these mutations gathering genes were related to the structure of the hair itself, like genes that encode the keratin proteins, the sequences that regulate the development of hair. As animals are under evolutionary pressure to lose hair, the genes encoding hair becomes less important, University of Pittsburgh geneticist Clark Nathan explains. That's why they speed up the rate of genetic changes that are permitted by natural selection. Some genetic changes might be responsible for hair loss of hair. Others could be collateral damage after hair stops growing. While we still retain many of our ancestral fur-coating genes, the regulation dials have been set to off through the accumulation of these mutations. The team also identified hundreds of new hair-related regulatory genes and some potential new hair-coating genes. These may prove important for people trying to recover lost hair due to disorders or chemotherapy. There are a good number of genes that we don't know much about them, Kowalski says. We think they could have roles in the hair growth and maintenance. The team's approach could also be applied to different convergent evolution traits. They are now using their computer-powered method to look into other health conditions. This is why to determine global genetic mechanisms underlying different characteristics, Clark concludes, and the research was published on eLife. This is by Tessa Kumandura, Science Alert. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box